My favorite number. Well, my favorite number was 8, and then I realized, and then I realized, well, wait, with Lucifer with two S's, that is an infinity symbol. I just like the 8 because it was an infinity symbol. Yeah, it meant forever, and because it loops around. And then I changed my favorite number to 7. So because I don't know, I just like 7. I don't know why. Me out in front. I don't know. Um, but 7 is a lonely number, I guess, because it's odd. Um, it's a little joke. So, but anyway, there's lots of things. I mean, I just like 7. So silly though. But anyway, we I mean, lots of things are different and strange. I mean, I don't know. Things change over the years. Like I say, like Warsaw was like one of my favorite things, and and because I had this giant like saw project in Warsaw, and that's why I named it Warsaw actually, because I had the a war saw. It's like there's like this giant saw that, a long time ago. I think there used to be some big trees there. There used to be a lot of big trees in Warsaw or something like that, and so I created a warlike saw, a military. It's a military saw basically for cutting through trees, like. And I thought it was funny because I had them working on like the Steam drive. This is back in the Steam days actually, and they were working on this giant Steam drive saw blade, and they also did a giant Steam drive chainsaw blade too in Warsaw. That's why I called it. Maybe that's why I got the nickname Warsaw as well, because they were doing this giant, like it's this giant like 12-foot tall saw basically, and you could just take whole trees and go into them. I would just rip right through them or something. I did some high powered saws, and I think I might have even done the chainsaw there, because they also did like this giant chainsaw thing, and they did some other wacky projects for me. I paid like $500 or 500 gold or something, and so it started getting known as Warsaw, because I had my Warsaw project there, and other people were saying, "Ah, Warsaw, it's blah blah blah, they're gonna cause a war," and something like that. It's like, wow, whatever. Anyway, eventually they got bombed really badly. I forget why. Although like Nixon and Africa, they were just like, well, he owns the planet now, so we need to kill everyone. They thought, and then they would own the planet if they killed everyone, or killed enough people. Because like I said, the Africa basically made it black versus white, and pretty much had this whole idea of world domination or universal domination, where the black people will finally be in power. And it's like, it's a group, and humans aren't the only ones. Like I said, black people were thinking that like it was just humanity, white and black, and that's all there is. And it's like, no, there's 800 galaxies or 3,000 galaxies, and they say there's actually trillions of galaxies now. And so, but I created like 3,000 of them, or I had 800 or whatever. But I mean, I don't really claim, it's like I don't see them ever. So, and I just started them a long time ago, and a lot of it was actually like in my direction or whatever. So it's like, I mean, I like to think about like the things I really did do, like the inventing the car and flight and aircraft and all that, and also like my jets and stuff, and the stuff that I actually did pay for too. And like the stuff I named, like the HMS Rodney, and there's like 3 Rodneys basically, three Rodney ships, and I never should have named a ship Rodney, and they actually were gonna name it something else, because they're like, no, you don't want to name it after your father, trust me on that. I was like, oh, but I promise. Oh, so they actually did eventually. I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and name it. I didn't know Rodney would turn out to be, of course, that some people say he's not really my father or something. I don't really know. It's like whatever. I don't really know. I mean, like I was actually building these ships, so so at the time it was pretty cool. So anyway, but yeah. but then, like then I guess then like I say, Nixon happened, and lots of stuff happened, and like they say the president or somebody, he actually said he was like a diplomat, threatened some other diplomat or somebody in the White House, threatened like the Chinese diplomat or the French diplomat or something, threatened his life or something like that. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty serious. Um, so, I mean, there's lots of stuff, I mean, with running an empire, running a country, it's like, well, obviously the White House is gone. So I was like, well, what it was, the American government is toast. They've lost it. So China and Germany and everyone else, what do you got? And at one point in time, like I say, Nixon was going to blow up the world in the year 2000, and I had every intention of doing it. And Nixon wasn't Nixon; he was actually JFK, just with a different nose, and he had a different nose. Um, I like to make fun of him a lot, like, and I had a different nose. He just because because the JFK nose is distinctive, so they just added a little bump on the end to make it, or something like that, to make it less distinctive, and they changed his hair and stuff like that to make him look and stuff like that. And Nixon was actually the same person. Well, you could tell from the teeth. Like I said, you could always tell from the teeth. Like you line up all the fake Kennedys, and you actually, like, one, they all look the same, and two, and they would never let themselves get photographed next to each other. Not later on, or not at some point in time, because you could obviously tell that they're obviously clones or something, or from one father, and they tried to say that they were from me, and I was like, you don't even look like me. Like, get away, psycho freak. And like I said, they put themselves in power in like 3 or 4 different towns, and then they basically went nuts and were trying to cause a war, trying to get their troops to attack each other. And because they knew, and then they were trying to deny like that we're clones, or they were like, cloning is impossible. And twins are impossible. There's no twins, and they're doing this whole big thing on the world, and just more public than I was out there. And they're basically just wreaking havoc and everything else like that. But you could tell which towns they were from because of the fighting and the war and stuff like that. And you could tell that, it's just a big scam and some psychos who got together and found out that they looked alike, and then decided to try and do this whole court scam thing where it's like, well, obviously I wasn't there. This is me with my best friends on camera and everything. And it's like, then your clone was there. Or your twin, and we need to find that person. So, or it was you, and you're going to jail and being killed anyway. So, anyway, the world didn't know that there were 30 Kennedys and 30, and probably and quite a few other Jimmy Carters out there. Not the Jimmy Carter that looks like now, but the other Jimmy Carter, or whatever. Anyway, it gets all confusing. So, anyway. Anyway, it's basically where they did, and take over the world or whatever, and then bombed a bunch of people and killed a bunch of people. And it's like, well, not much more than psychopaths. And I don't even think they killed that many people because, we had the early warning systems already in place. So most of the people got down into my deep mines. And apparently they didn't know about my deep mines at first. But my people who lived there actually did know about the deep mines, and hopefully they all got inside safely. Because, like I said, we built the place, we knew the place, and there were deep underground mines, so they snuck out the back, fortunately. So anyway, and yeah, so lots of history.